Okay, we are in parsha Shemini, and what happens is, just if you look at the introduction to the article, it says at the beginning of the previous Sidra, Aharon and his sons were instructed to remain at the tent of the meeting for 7 full days while Moshe performed the inauguration service, which began on the 23rd of Adar. Each day for 7 days, Moshe erected, this is only according to one opinion, each day Moshe erected the tabernacle, the Mishkan, performed the entire service himself, and disassembled the tabernacle when the service was done. According to this opinion, that was in order for the Levites to get used to be putting it up, take it down, put it up, take it down. Okay. So this was because the whole thing was a training, because Moshe is not really a priest. Moshe is a Levi. But he has to show his brother and his son and his nephews what to do, and also the Levium. So it takes 7 full days to do that. The inauguration period climaxed with the consecration of Aharon and his sons as Kohanim on the 8th day. From that moment onward, only Kohanim were eligible to perform the tabernacle service. This chapter begins on the 1st day of Nisan, Rosh Chodesh Nisan. The 8th day is the inauguration service. On that day, the tabernacle was erected permanently, and the Kohanim assumed their new role. The Sidra describes a special service the newly consecrated Kohanim performed on that day. They achieved this status. Okay, now we can start. It says, Vayi b'yom hashmini. It was on the 8th day, again, the 8th day of consecration. Kara Moshe called Aharon Lefanav, to Aharon and his children, his sons, L'ziknei Yisrael, and to the elders of Israel. And what happens? By the way, Rashi says, why is he calling to the elders of Israel? Lahashmiyim she'al pi hadibor Aharon nichnas mishamish b'kuhuna gedola. That it was to inform them that it was via Hashem's instruction that Aharon would enter and do the service of the Kohen Gadol, v'lo yomru, and they should not say, me'elav nichnas. They should not say that Aharon on his own went in. It's always like in a shul. If nobody goes up to daven, somebody on their own may go up to daven and arrogantly take the amud, instead of waiting for the shamas or the chazan or whoever, the rav, to say you. So some people arrogantly will go up, and of course you have to also think about it. In Pirkei Avot it says, "B'makom she'en ish hishtadel ish." In a place that there is no man, in other words, no leader, you should strive to be the leader. So it's not such a bad thing that people go up. In other words, if nobody else is doing it, somebody has to start. So in this case, though, it was clear that he was saying Hashem told him to do it. It's not, Aharon is not doing it on his own. Then he says, what does he say? So Vayomer el Aharon. He said to Aharon, Kach lecha egel ben bakar lechatat. You should take for yourself a young bull for a sin offering, va'ayel leola, and a ram for a totally burnt offering, a complete ram, v'akrei lifnei Hashem, and you should bring it for Hashem, before Hashem. Rashi again says, why does it say kach lecha egel? Why does it say take for yourself instead of just kach ed ha'egel? Why lecha? Lehodia, to inform us, shemecha pirlo hakadosh baruch hu al yedei egel zeh, that Hashem is allowing him to be atoned with this bull, al ma'aseh ha'egel, in place of the golden calf. Remember, Aharon was responsible in a large part for the golden calf because he didn't stop them. He could have said to them, no, I won't do such a heinous act to take your gold and to make a god for you, or to make whatever he's going to make, but he doesn't, and as a result, the people end up with the golden calf. So this is to inform him that Hashem is allowing him to for an atonement with this bull. Then he says, V'al b'nei Yisrael, next verse, the Gimel. V'al b'nei Yisrael tidaber lemor, and to b'nei Yisrael you should say, Kechu se'er izim l'chatat, take, now again, this is not a command form, take, not take for yourself. Take a he-goat for a sin offering, v'egel, and a bull v'keves, and also a sheep, b'nei shana, his first 1 year, in his first year, tamimim la'ola, it should be unblemished, for an old offering, Okay, why? Continues on. And also a bull and a ram for a peace offering, Lizboach, to sacrifice Lifnei Hashem. They're going to sacrifice before Hashem. Umincha belula b'shamen, and again a mincha offering. This is the grain offering for mixed with oil. We're dealing with olive oil, not pure olive oil. Today you would call it pure olive oil, or virgin olive oil. In other words, it could have some leads, but it shouldn't have that much. Ki hayom, because today Hashem nira aleichem, Hashem appears to you. So Rashi says, why is Hashem appearing to you? Lahatrot shechinato b'masi yedechem, to cause His divine presence to dwell in, as a result of the work of your hands. Lechach Korbanot halalu ba'in chovel yom hazeh. That's why the korbanot, these sacrifices are coming as an obligation for this day. Now look at this. This next. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go a little more. Vayikchu hey, and they took et asher tzivah Hashem, that which Hashem commanded, el pnei ohel moed, to the entrance of the or before the front of the ohel moed, the tent of meeting. Vayikrevu kol ha'edah, and the whole congregation approached. V'yamdu lifnei Hashem, and they stood before Hashem. Vayomer Moshe says, Ze'ad davar, this is the matter, or the thing, asher tzivah Hashem ta'asu, that Hashem commanded you to do. V'yera aleichem kavod Hashem, and the honor of the Hashem, the glory of Hashem will appear to you. Again, he keeps emphasizing this is what Hashem has commanded you to do, because we're not doing it, we wouldn't do it without Hashem commanding us. Okay? Then Vayomer Moshe el Aharon. Moshe said to Aaron, Karav, command form, Karav el HaMizbeach, approach the Mizbeach. Well, you already told Aaron you should do this. Why are you telling him approach again? Okay, that's the first question. And you should do your sin offering, and your totally burnt offering. And you should atone on behalf of yourself and on behalf of the nation. Why does he have to atone for himself first and then the nation? What would you say? Why atone for yourself first?
How could you atone for the nation if you're yourself or not?
Good, exactly. And you will make the korban, the sacrifice of the nation, and you atone for them. Hashem, just as Hashem commanded. So Rashi says, Rashi's bothered. Why does he have to say, come to the Mizbeach? Yeah. Why does he say that? So he says, Shahaya Aaron Bosh. Aaron was embarrassed. V'yera lageshet, and he was afraid to approach the Mizbeach. Here you have, why is he embarrassed? Because of the Egel Zav. He has the sin of the Egel Zav, and he's thinking, how am I roy? How am I fit to do this? He has a broken heart. I heard this. It was a very interesting speech on Torah Anytime. I won't go through the whole thing, but he was saying that Aaron's midah, his character trait, which we're seeing here, was he was embarrassed. He had a broken heart about what he did, and that was something that he was picked for. So the Amar lo Moshe, and Moshe says to him, Lama ata bosh? Why are you embarrassed? Lachach nivcharta, because of this. That's why you were chosen. So they want to say, the whole Sifrei Musa want to say that the reason you were chosen is because you have this embarrassment, because you feel bad about your sin, because you think about it, you reflect upon it, and therefore that's why you're roy, that's why you're fit to be a Kohen Gadol. It's an interesting thing. I mean, we all may feel bad about our sin, but do we really, obsess on it? We don't really obsess. When none of us are that afraid to go to daven Shemona Esrei. I mean, I know I've said to people, can you come to shul? And they said, Rabbi, I can't come to shul because if I would walk into the shul, the very walls would break down on me. Okay, so that, in other words, by the way, that could be their matter of shame. Mm-hmm. They recognize that their whole life is keneged, is against what God wants. Mm-hmm. And they're saying that it would be it would be what's it called? Hypocritical for me to walk into a shul, and if I would walk into shul, Hashem would be so angry, he would collapse it on my head. I think that's an excuse personally not to have to shul, but nonetheless, that is probably how Aharon felt to an extent. That how can I go and offer something on behalf of the Jewish people when it was through my actions that we have to keep repairing this? So that's what he says. For that you were chosen. Amazing stuff. And okay, let's go on. So then it says, Vayikrav Aharon el Mizbeach. And Aharon approached the Mizbeach. Now, an interesting thing is, in the trope, it could have done a lot of different things. Now, I don't know the grammar of trope, and I'm sure there is a grammatical part to trope. So anybody who knows this will probably think I'm an ignoramus. So I say openly I am. When it comes to trope, I am. But it could have done a lot of things with trope. It could have said, it could have used the kadma v'yazla, which would make it Vayikrav Aharon el Mizbeach, or Vayikrav Aharon el Mizbeach, but rather it shows a very low thing. Vayikrav Yaakov el Mizbeach. Seemingly he's afraid. That seems to be the music that comes at it. In other words, again, I could have been da 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 da, or da 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 da. He's. I think that's what the. If you would listen to the music of the Torah, I think that's what we're seeing from the that Hashem is trying to get across to us. That he wasn't happy to be there. He approached, but with trepidation. That's what I want to say. And we'll go along with what was going on before. So Vayishcha, and again with Vayishchat, again there's a little trepidation. And he slaughtered the egel, the sin offering, the calf that was for him. Fine. Then it comes to his sons. Now listen to this music. Vayakrivu. Now it's some more of an announcement. Vayakrivu. That makes sense. Like I said, it doesn't make. It bothered me that when I saw Vayikrav Aharon, that is Vayikrav Aharon el Mizbeach, like I don't want to be here alone. But his sons, Vayakrivu. So it's just interesting. Vayakrivu b'nei Aharon et Hadam elav. So b'nei Aharon brought close. They're no longer approaching. Now they're bringing blood to him. That's the difference. That's the hif'el. Vayakriv. They caused him to bring close. So they brought the blood, the edadam elav. They brought the dam to him. Vayidbol etzba'o b'dam. He dipped his finger in the dam. His finger in the dam. Vayitin al kanot hamizbech. He placed it on the horns of the mizbech. Vayidam yasak. And the rest of now here, by the way, I'm adding words. I want to say that openly. It really just says V'edadam Yetzak, and the blood he poured El Yisrael Mizbeach to the base of the Mizbeach. If you read it like that, so here's what the sentence says: the Bnei Aharon brought the blood to him. He dipped his finger in the blood and he put it on the horns of the Mizbeach, and the blood he poured out to the foundation of the altar. Well, what did he do? Did he put the blood on the horns, or did he pour it out? You can't do both with the blood, right? So that's why I think who says it? I forget who says it, but somebody points out that it means the rest of the blood. In other words, that after he sprinkled, the rest of the blood he poured out, and that what's missing there is the word the rest. Okay. Then it says, so the fat and the kidneys, and also the diaphragm from the liver, from the sin offering, so he brought that, they went up, they caused it to go up and smoke on the Mizbeach, just as Hashem commanded Moshe, and also the blood, the flesh, and the skin, the hide, Thank you. Saraf be'esh, he burned in fire, v'yichutz l'machaneh, outside of the camp. Okay, fine. Then vayishcha the olah, he slaughtered the olah, the total burnt offering. V'yamsi'u, and here's also an interesting word. V'yamsi'u is they presented. You would think matzah is they found, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here it's v'yamsi'u, they presented. Bnei Aharon elav adam. The Bnei Aharon presented to him the blood, and he poured it on the altar around. Again, the olah, the totally burnt offering, they presented to him for pieces. They had a rosh in the head, and they burned it on the mizbech. They washed the innards. We had a kra'ayim, and how they kra'ayim is what do they call that? The feet. The feet vayaktir ala olam mizbecha, and they slaughtered and they caused the olah, the totally burnt offering, to go up in smoke on this mizbech. Vayakrev et korban ha'am. Now he brought the korban of the nation. Vayikach hatzir chatat shel am, and he took the goat offering. That is the goat sin offering that was for the nation. He slaughtered it, and he performed the sin offering as he did with the first. And they brought the olah, and they did it according to how it should be. Okay, so now I'm going fast. I want to get to the next part, but you have to hear the whole concept of what's going on here. So he brought the mincha offering, and he filled his hand from it, and he again caused it to go up in flame on the altar, besides the morning elevation offering. Vayishchad at Hashor at Ayel, he slaughtered the bull and the ram. Zevach Shlamim, offering peace offerings. Ashilam that belonged to the nation. V'yamsiu b'nei Yisrael and Adam elav. Again, b'nei Aharon presented the blood to him. V'yizrakehu alam mizbech saviv, and he sprinkled it on the mizbech around. V'yena chalavim and minashor, and the fats from the ox. From the bull, from the bull. I mean, the aisle, and from the ram, ha'alya, the fat tail, the tail, ha'machasiv eklayot, and the tail, and the covering fats, and the kidneys, and the diaphragm with the liver, hakaveh with the liver, so they put the fats on the breast, the breast. And they cause the fats to go up in smoke on the mizbeach, and also the breast, and the right thigh, right, the right thigh. Heinif Aharon tenufal lifnei Hashem. He waved it as a wave offering before Hashem. Kashit siva Hashem. The main thing is Kashet Siva Hashem, just as Hashem commanded. Okay, then Vayisa Aharon et Yadav et Ha'am ve'Rochem. Then Aharon lifted his hands toward the nation. He blessed them. What he blessed them with, Birka Kohanim. That's what Rashi says. Hashem v'Yishmecha. Okay, and then Vayered, he went down Miyasor Chatat, from doing the Achatat offering, Ve'olah ve'Shlamim, from doing the Chatat, Olah and Shlamim offering. We're on page 590. V'Yavo Moshe Aharon el Moed. So Moshe and Aaron came to the tent of meeting. They went out and they gave a bracha to the nation. And the honor of Hashem appeared to the entire nation. So Rashi here says, what's going on here? Why did Moshe have to get involved? Okay, Aaron has been doing this all along. Suddenly Moshe gets involved. What's Moshe have to do? Lama nichnasu. Why did they enter? Why did they both enter? So Matzati beperk maluim bebraita and sefet. So he says he found this in a braita, and the braita says Lama nichnas Moshe im Aaron. Why did Moshe enter with Aaron into the Ohel Moed lamdo simply the lamdo al maaseh ketoret, to teach him how to do the ketoret. I'm still your teacher. Fine. Oh, lo nichnas el devar acher. Or maybe it was for a different reason. He says already done. Yeah, he said, I made an accounting. Yeridu uvia ta'ano bracha. Both going down and coming in require a bracha. Ma yerida me'en avoda. So just as bringing down is leaving as part of the avoda, also coming as part of the avoda. Hayla maratam. So this comes to teach you Lama nichnas Moshe im Aharon. Why did Moshe enter with Aharon? Again, lamdo amazik Torah, to teach them how to do Torah. That's another thing. The Varach here, another possibility is Kevan Shara Aharon Shekarvu Kol HaKarbanot. When Aharon saw that he had brought all the karbonot, V'nasu Kol HaMasim, and he did everything he was supposed to do. V'lo Yarda Shechina L'Yisrael, but still the divine presence did not come down to Israel. The Shechina wasn't there. Hayam is tired. He was worried. V'yamar, and he said, Aaron saying, Yodeani Shekaz HaKadosh Baruch Hu Alai. I know that Hashem is angry at me. Uvishvili, and because of me, Aaron saying, Lo Yada Shechina L'Yisrael. And that's why the Shechina does not come to Israel. Amalo Moshe. So he said to Moshe, Moshe Achai, Moshe my brother, Moshe Achi, excuse me, Kach Asita li. You did this to me. That you made me enter, and now you embarrassed me. Oh, you haven't? Okay, I did everything you told me to do, and now I entered, and it's your fault, and I'm embarrassed because the Shekhinah didn't come down. Miyad, immediately Moshe, Miyad nichnas Moshe imo. So immediately Moshe entered with him, ubakshu rachamim, and he requested compassion from Hashem, via the Shechina Israel, and that's when the Shechina came down to Israel. Okay, so we have possibilities as to what's going on, but the last part of that is really, I did everything right. Why isn't Hashem doing what he should be doing? By the way, this goes back to what we're talking about in the Gemara. This goes back to all the Balei Musar. God is not a candy machine. It's not just because I do what I'm supposed to be doing doesn't guarantee results. Okay, everything he was doing was necessary, and he should do it. He didn't deviate from what Hashem said, but he still apparently the one thing that was missing was davening for rachamim on his brother's behalf. In other words, Moshe had to come to the defense to say, okay, he did this and this. Hashem, it's not, you don't owe him, you don't owe me. I'm not asking you because you owe us anything. We're asking on rachamim. We're asking for compassion. Because also the people were concerned. Here we did this is another place, the same sort of midrash, where the people were saying, "What we did all these things and the divine presence isn't with us." So again, Moshe has to enter and say, the same way, Al rachamim. Let us, please come and to show the people that you care. Okay? So now what happens? And then that's the second part of that, because that's what they went down, they blessed the nation. So Rashi says what happened again, because of all the 7 days of Maluan, the 7 days of inauguration, Shemidu Moshe Mishkan, that Moshe was putting up the Mishkan for Shamishbo, and he was servicing in there. We break it down every day. Lo Shata Bo Shechina again. Shechina didn't come down. So like I just said, Vayu Yisrael Nichlamim. So now the Bnei Israel were embarrassed. V'yomrim l'Moshe, they said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Kol HaTorah, Shetarachnu, Shetishra, Shechina B'neinu, and all this trouble that we did, so to cause the divine presence to dwell with us, and he's not here, and to dwell with us. Why they want that? Why is it so important? Because V'neda Shnitchaper Lanu Avona Egel. Because then if Hashem divine presence rests upon us, we will know that God has forgiven us for the Egel Azav. That's why it was so important. That's really the whole kunz. Otherwise, I don't need you. But I need to know you forgave me. So the only way I'm going to know you forgave me is if your divine presence rests upon me again. I did what you told me. I filled out the bill. I did everything. I dotted my T's. And they crossed my T's, dot my I's. I did everything that you told me. I didn't add, I didn't subtract. You said if I do this, this is going to happen. So it's a formula. Formulas don't have to work. Again, normally they do, and that's why when I pick something up and I drop it, it will fall to the ground normally. But there are times that it won't. And then I can either decide that's gravity, it's a trick, or whatever. I mean, it's lack of gravity, it's a trick, whatever it's going to do. I don't know. It just doesn't work like it's normally supposed to work, so I'll make up a theory about it. But really, that's Hashem telling me there is no rules. I decide what the rule is at any moment. And you can't be sure of that. So when I when I do something, I can't say, I did A, you have to do B. It doesn't work like that. Okay? That's what we keep learning over and over again. So what happens? So lechach amar. So therefore he said to them, then he said to them, this is what Hashem has commanded you to do. And that's why it says the glory of Hashem appeared to them. Aharon achi kedai v'chashuv mimeni. Aharon, my brother, is more befitting than me. Al yedei karbanutav ve'avrotav, through his karbanos, through his service. Tisha Shechina Bachem, the divine presence will dwell in your midst. And you will know that Hashem chose him. So that was another reason that we have to set everything up, right? We have to prove that Aharon is going to be the Kohen Gadol. Because it's very simple to say that I, the king of the Jews, King Moshe, say that my brother should be the high priest. Well, what makes him Roy? So when the fire comes down, this divine Shekhinah comes because he presents his karbanos, so that solidifies the deal. But Aharon has a problem because it's not happening according to the first time. It's not happening right away. So he's saying to Moshe, you're embarrassing me. You sent me and you told me all this thing. You told me to speak from Hashem. And I believe you. I have no problem with it. But what are we supposed to do? The Shekhinah isn't here. That's why he has to go on to daven for him too. Again, it's all rachamim. It's all rachamim. Okay? So what happens? Right. So Hashem. So now Hashem shows his divine presence. A fire comes out from before Hashem, and he devours that which is on the Mizbech, the olav, the chalavim, the totally burnt offering, or the elevation offering they call it, and the fats. Vayar kol ha'am. Now the whole nation saw Aharon and they rejoiced. Vayiplu al paneihem, and they fell on their faces. Why they fell on their faces? So it says, in addition to the miracle of fire, the people know the miracle of the entire nation was in a tiny 50 cubit area of the courtyard in front of the tabernacle. Yet there was room for everyone. They fell to their hands and knees in awe of gratitude. Everyone had Dalit Amo, 4 Amot of space from self. Thereupon the spirit of holiness came upon them, and they sang out in praise to God. So that is what happens. Good. So now the second part of this is the sad part. Vayikhu b'nei Aharon. So now b'nei Aharon come. And who are they? Nadav and Avihu. Famous story. Ish machzado. They took each man his fire offering, fire pan. Vayidnu behen eish. And they put upon it fire. And they put on the Ketoret offering, the incense offering. And they brought before Hashem an Eish Zara, a strange fire. That was not commanded to them. Well, obviously, if a strange fire wasn't commanded to them, so why does it have to say that wasn't commanded to them? And this is basically what goes on. If there's a whole bunch of reasons as to what they did wrong. Some people say they were drinking, and that's why they made it. Some people said they were arrogant. Some people said it was because they didn't ask Moshe and Aharon. The Kli Yakar says that they were waiting for Aharon, where they said, when is Moshe Aharon going to die so we can take over? There was a whole bunch of stuff going on, but the bottom line is they were tzaddikim. Let's never take it away from the Davna view. They were tzaddikim. And they looked and they said, okay, we want to also offer a special gift. But it was an Eish Zara. It was a fire that was not commanded. That was their sin. That's their sin. Regardless of how they did it, why they did it, that was a
strange fire.
Right. That's what strange fire, because it wasn't commanded.
Shouldn't have been there.
Right. And that's what it says. So v'teitze eish m'lifnei Hashem v'tochal otam. And so a fire came out from before Hashem and devoured them. V'yamutu l'fnei Hashem. And they died before Hashem. So what happens here? he says, so Rash, Rabbi Elazar Omer, Lo metu b'nei Aharon el ayidei shahoru halacha b'fnei Moshe Rabban. The only reason they died was because they taught a halacha in front of Moshe. So here's a famous thing: if your Rav is in the city or anywhere else, you're not allowed to give a halacha. You're not allowed to quote. To rule halacha in front of him without his permission. Rabbi Schechter of YU, when he was talking to us, he said, this law is very important and people should stop shooting from the hip. If you're going to, your halacha is you're not allowed to paskim without asking your Rav. Everybody's Rav is right on the shelf. It's called the Shulchan Aruch. Look at it, make sure you're right, and then you can paskin. Without going to the Shulchan Aruch, you have no right to paskin. Of course, he also said, without knowing all the shas, without knowing everything, you have no right to paskin. Fine. But when it comes to a simple thing like Hanukkah candles, or anything like that, you have to look up the halacha. You have to know it. You have to be fluent in the halacha. And that is our Rav. That's everybody's Rav. The Shulchan Aruch is our Rav. So we're not allowed to give a halacha based upon our memories. We're supposed to look at it, which is why he said, no matter who he's with, he saw many Gedolim do it, that when you gave him a call, they would say, I'll call you back in a few minutes. Yeah. And even if they never looked at the book, it was a way to get us used to, it's not ask Google. I Google, 1,000 things come up. No. You have to know that you have to look things up. So that's what they're saying here. Rabbi Elazar said that they died because they ruled in front of Moshe Rabbeinu. Rabbi Yishmael, he disagreed. He said, no, they died because that they had a drink before they came in. I wasn't drunk, but they had a drink more than a revius of something. So that was it. And his proof is that right after this incident, Aharon is given the law of you shouldn't drink before doing service. And that's why on Simchat Torah, we do it in the morning and not in the after, not at Musaf, we normally would, because we had Kaddish, right? And normally you would have wine and so forth. So the only ones that don't do that are the Germans, the Yekas. So their minhag is to make sure some of the Kohanim do not drink, and then they
make Kiddush, but they make sure that they don't.
Or somebody else makes Kiddush for them, but but they're also through before Chatzot every year, anyway. So they make sure that the Kohanim can do it. Okay, we'll have to stop here.
Yeah, okay.